Welcome to the Life and Transitions Experts Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Rollins, here with another conversation and topic that hopefully will help you during your life's biggest transitions. And one of those is as the world and technology improves, we're living longer, and that's creating different challenges and opportunities for us as a population. And so today we're going to look at and talk about what do we need to think about if we're deciding as an older person or as a senior, or maybe our mom and dad are thinking about what would be the next step. Should we move into a new home or should we move into a senior community? So let's dive in. I am going to share my screen. Where's the screen? Oh, present is the share screen. All right. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I would love, or if you're listening to this on Spotify, I would love any feedback that helps me get better. But also go check us out over there on YouTube and subscribe to our channel and look at all the content. Hopefully things will help you. A lot of it's related to probate, inherited property, and the senior world, senior transition. So does dad need to move into assisted living? So some of the factors, as I mentioned earlier, this is straight from the World Health Organization. That one at the bottom that really is not necessarily alarming, but uh, tells us that the population is going to increase, is going to double of folks who are over 60 years old. So that's going to be a great opportunity for folks to live long and do awesome things. And it comes with challenges as far as restraints on just what do we do? How do we make sure that people are living the way they need to live? So here are four things I want you to think about when we're thinking about whether or not you should move mom or whether or not you should move dad into a senior community. One of those being is the cost of staying home. Is your mom or dad, or are you, if you're thinking about this for yourself, are you in a position in place to keep up with the maintenance of the maintenance and repairs and things of that nature of the house? Not necessarily just talking about the monetary cost, but the actual cost of managing the continued maintenance of the home is something to consider. It may be more cost effective for you to stay home because senior communities aren't always inexpensive. There are different ranges, of course, depending on what type of service that that you're asking for. And we have check out past episodes. I've looked at different type of senior communities. I'm going to look at some more again because this is very important information. And the more I put it out there, the more hopefully people will be able to take advantage of the information and make some really great decisions for themselves and perhaps for their loved one, their senior loved one. But the cost of staying home may be more cost effective. It may be actually be more expensive, particularly if you need medical issues and you have people coming in. That can be pretty expensive to have nurses and things of that nature come in to make sure that your loved one is taken care of. So it may actually end up being more cost effective to actually go into a community where these same services are provided, but it's not as costly as the sometimes hourly or salary that's charged by nurses. The quality of life. Are there companions? Are there one of the biggest challenges that we have in this nation is loneliness. The impact of loneliness on human being is is detrimental. It's far greater than we assumed in the past. And there's tons of research out there that shows and suggests that loneliness, the impact of loneliness, is almost like the equivalent of smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day. And I should quote the site that says that. I don't want to just give just what did Homer Simpson say? You can get numbers to prove anything. 15% of all people know that. But the reality is that loneliness is a condition that can hinder life and quality of life. And does do you have community built in? Do you have where it's absolutely already embedded in a part of your world? If you do and you're staying at home, that is awesome. If not, you may want to consider senior community or some way of engaging in community, even if it's not in a senior home. But quality of life, a lot of that has to do with how we connect with others. There are other factors of quality of life that need to be considered as well when it comes to staying home versus senior care. Perhaps the property, even though it's loved and has tons of memories, perhaps it's outdated now. Perhaps it's too big for the surviving, or for the person who's staying there. Perhaps a loved one passed away and there's a surviving spouse, and now the home is too much, too large. Kind of speaks to the first factor to think about, as sometimes the space may be too small now that they are adjusting and they need new space. So quality of life is very important to consider. Also, safety issues. My dad, God bless him, he's been in and out of the hospital really last year, just different things that are going on. And I went to visit him yesterday, and I saw on his chart, it said uh, fall risk. It's a serious thing. People falling, especially as seniors, because bones and bodies are not as supple as they used to be, and so a fall could cause great damage. Not only that, but there's also the risk of fire that I'm coming to understand even more so when you have folks who are sometimes taking medicine, and or not taking medicine, but well, yeah, sometimes this can play a factor taking medicine, but more important, sometimes memory and remembering to keep that you turned the stove on could be a challenge. And this is a serious issue in the senior community, making sure that you have safety protocol in place to protect yourself, sometimes against yourself, or protect your mom and dad from themselves at the time. And falling and fire are two huge risks in senior spaces, and so that's something to consider when you're at home. Do you have the tools? Do you have everything taken care of to make sure that your loved one's safe, or does this senior community have that as well? So that's something to think about, and as well for the health considerations, not only the safety issues, but if you are taking medicine, are you taking it on time? Do you need support taking it? Do you need assistance with certain just daily activities? Call it ADL, activities of daily life. Are those hindered, or are those supported when you're at home? Quite often, senior communities, again, there's a variety of services that are provided, but quite often you'll have someone who's making sure they're monitoring your medicine or other activities or things that are necessary for you to continue to live that awesome life that you're living. So those are four things to think about. Just cost of staying at home, quality of life, safety issues, fall and fire, big issues, and health considerations are four important things to consider if you're considering this for yourself or your family. Awesome resources. Paying for long-term care. This is like my Bible right here. Ben Rayu is an awesome guy. That had a chance to spend a good amount of time with him out in St. Louis, Missouri. Him and Philip Vincent have a great organization called Mom's House, where I'm actually a senior transition specialist. You see my little button there on the right, down there in the bottom right corner for me. And it has given me the tools needed to help seniors come up with solutions that are important and viable for them. So definitely reach out. This is a holistic approach to senior transitions needs. As I said before, quite often my work is in probate, but because they're very, I don't want to say parallel. They blend together, because sometimes I'm helping the family through probate and then helping them with the surviving members find a new community. That's literally what's taking place. Actually, today I'm going with a gentleman going to check out his new space that he's going to move into on July 27th. He's actually become a pretty good friend too, so I look forward to seeing his new space, and so I've adopted him as my dad. At any rate, would love for you to hit the like, subscribe if you found this valuable or helpful. Please respond if you have any questions or things that you want me to tackle or address. I love just sharing and learning and growing, particularly in this space, because it's such a needed niche. You all, let your light shine. Cheers.